So, hello everyone. Today I will be discussing about eudaimonia uniquely to humans. So, before I continue to discuss, let's recall about Aristotle. So, Aristotle was a Greek philosopher and scientist, students of Plato and teacher of Alexander the Great. His works more on logic, ethics, and sciences, also shaping the philosophy and sciences through reason and observation. So, eudaimonia, it is what we call happiness, is unique to human. Why? Because humans only be achieved through rational life. So what do you mean by rational life? So when it comes to rational life, it is guided by reason, wisdom, and good judgment. It means that a man think before acting, make moral choices, and live according to life and virtue instead of emotions and desires. So according to tripartite soul, all living things share nutritive function. So unsay naa sa nutritive function? Ang naa sa nutritive function naa dira ang growth and reproductions, while humans and animals share sensitive function. So unsay naa sa sensitive function? Naa dira ang movement and perception. But humans only possess rational soul. So later on we will discuss this one. So we have the table 1 tripartite soul. So according to Aristotle, we have 3 degrees of levels. First, we have the rational soul. Second, sensitive soul, and nutritive soul. So first, we have the rational soul. So rational soul found only to humans. It involves theoretical and practical thinking and make fully rational. Second, we have sensitive soul. It is found only the animals, and it is allow movement and perception and make it make it partly rational. So lastly, we had nutritive soul. It is found in animals, plants. It is respond growth, nutrition, and reproduction, and is non-rational. So before we continue to discuss why humans possess rational soul, so ato sang tagsa-tagsaon kung unsay meaning anang rational soul, partly rational, and non-rational soul. Ang kanang rational, it is only for humans because ang humans can think and give reason. Ang partly rational, it is found only animals because ang animals can feel and move pero wala sila'y reason. Ang non-rational, it is only for plants because ang plants can grow and reproduce pero dili sila ka-feel and think. Mo na gipasabot sa rational, partly rational, and non-rational. So now, why humans possess rational soul? Because ang human allows them to think, reason, and make moral decision unlike sa plants and animals, and also can plan for future ang mga humans. So this ability to use reason and intellect makes humans unique. So for Aristotle, tripartite soul, the rational capacity is to achieve what? Is to achieve eudaimonia or happiness. Another word of eudaimonia or happiness is human flourishing by living life guided by wisdom and virtue. Let's proceed the Ariete and human happiness. So eudaimonia is what defines the good life. To live a good life is to live a happy life. So according to Aristotle, eudaimonia defines a good life, right? He believed that to live a truly good life is to live a happy one. And through this happiness can only be achieved through living life of virtue. So mao na gipasabot ni Aristotle sa eudaimonia. To live a truly good life is to live a happy one. So ang kanang Ariete, it is the excellence of any kind and also mean a moral virtue. So moral virtue is one makes one function. According to Aristotle, suggests 2 types of virtue. So what are those 2 types of virtue? We have intellectual virtue and moral virtue. So when it comes to intellectual virtue, it is developed through education, time, and experience. It includes wisdom and understanding, which guide ethical behavior and come from both formal learning and self-taught knowledge. So ang kanang moral virtue, mauna siya ang virtue of character is developed through constant practice. According to virtues life, generosity, temperance, and courage, and formed by repeatedly doing good actions. So para dali na to masabtan ang differences nilang duha sa intellectual virtue and moral virtue. So ang kanang intellectual virtue, learned through study. It is thinking well, while moral virtue is learned through practice. Mauna siyang acting well. So let's proceed to the last one, which is Aristotle explained that although the capacity of intellectual virtue is innate. It is brought into completion only by practice. So Aristotle believed that while human are born with a capacity of intellectual virtue, it can only be complete through constant practice. So unsa gyud constant practice? Mao na ang moral virtue, because ang moral virtue is learned through practice. It is the acting well. So that's all for my report about eudaimonia, uniquely to human. Thank you.
A good life. So according to the concept of eudaimonia, the good life means being happy, healthy, and prosperous, not just in material things, but in the way we think, live, and act. So, path to good life. Aristotle said that the good life is achieved by living a virtuous life. Like, ang good life daw, para ni Aristotle, is living a virtuous life, like a balance or gani, like dili kay dato, so put kay pobre, like middle. And then virtues are the balance between two extreme excess and deficiency. Show that living well means finding the middle ground in actions and emotions, like what I said. Middle ground ang what's that? Virtuous life. And then, ang connection niya sa science and technology is we can relate the idea of the good life to how we use science and technology. So when we judge new inventions or trends, we must use virtue and wisdom. Too much dependence on technology can harm us, but rejecting it completely can stop progress. So there is a when we judge new inventions or trends, we must use virtue and wisdom. So diri, like for example, atong idea ni Aristotle nga golden mean. So ang golden mean nag-teaches siya sa everything that should be done in moderation, like means finding the right balance between too much and too little. For example, being brave is a balance. It's not being reckless, but also not being afraid to act. In the same way, when it comes to science and technology, we should also apply this idea of balance. We should not depend on them too much because it can make us forget human values, but we should not reject them either because they help improve our lives. According to C.S. Lewis, also reminded us that science must follow moral and ethical standards, not just what is possible. Just because something can be done doesn't always mean it should be done. Like for example, creating new technologies should always consider what's right and what's good for the people. So both science and humans can flourish when guided by ethics and balance. By applying the golden mean, we learn to use technology and knowledge responsibly in ways that make life better and lead us to a good life. Like for example, ani is katong answer ni Catriona Gray. So ni ana siya nga, I'm for it being used for medical use, but not so for recreational use. Everything is good, but in moderation. So her answer reflects the idea of balance, not rejecting or abusing something, but using it wisely. So that's all for now.